Again, the first one was D, we went over that. The second one was A, we went over that because you want that line of best fit to go in the middle through the points. Anybody who's on the waiting list for the bathroom, you wait until we're done going over the quiz. Number 3, you've got rectangle R, and it does a translation to it, and then it does a dilation. When it does a dilation, it does it by a scale factor of 0.25. What's another name for 0.25? A quarter. A quarter is to divide by 4. So you're actually making it smaller. So the dilation will make it smaller. So if the resulting rectangle is S is smaller, then R is bigger. And that's choice C. R is bigger, and it's similar because any dilation makes things similar. It keeps everything in proportion. And as far as this one goes, which diagram could show triangle ABC becoming A prime, B prime, C prime after a 90-degree counter? I had to put that in there. Clockwise, and a translation 4 units to the right and down 3. So a rotation would spin it up to here, then go right, go down. Once again, spin it, go right, go down. That's the only one that could possibly work. None of the others could possibly work. What's that? Yeah, I wrote it in there. Okay, any questions on this? All right, so now those who are looking to go on the potty break parade, you can start with one at a time going, and let's get out last night's homework and start going over that. And I'll just start putting the questions up there, and then if you have any questions on them, please ask. What was last night's number 3, right? Yeah. Any questions? Okay, we'll go on now to the next page. Let me shrink the size a little bit, 75%. This should be a pretty straightforward question right here. It wants the point of intersection. Okay. Any questions? Okay. I'll go here. Remember, if you have questions, ask them here. We just did the whole concept of line of best fit just a minute ago. So we wanted to go through the middle of the points. That means about half is above and about half is below. Choice D on this guy, right? Almost made my Lindquist Daily dumb mistake here. I was looking at this one, and I said, oh, look, 2, 5, because if you look up here, it said 2, then 5, so I figured 2, 5. But then I looked carefully. It's cups of flour on the bottom, and it wanted 2 cups of water, and up here, it's 5 cups of water. So the one that has 2 cups of water is over here, so it should be choice D. So you need to pay a lot of attention to that. That's an easy question if you just look at what each axis represents. So you're sure you're pairing them up properly. Word order does not necessarily mean point order. That's the moral to the story on that one. Questions?
Nope.
All right, let's go to the next. Scan 3. Only had one question here. As soon as it starts talking about right triangles, legs, hypotenuse, Pythagorean theorem, leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. It says the legs are 9 and 10, so 9 squared plus 10 squared. Now, I do want to emphasize that when you do a problem like this, there's 2 possible ways to represent the answer. One way is when you get to the point where you're doing the inverse operations and you square root both sides, you just get the square root of 181. In this case, that is choice A. I should have circled it, sorry. But sometimes they ask you for the decimal equivalent, and they put decimals over here. If that's the case, you have to take your calculator and do the square root of 181. Okay, any questions? All right. The rest of that page is all formulas. All right, this page, I can't fit them all on there. I have to go to 75%. This page is a bunch of transformations, and I tried to color code everything so that it would make sense to you. Take a look at them, see how you did. Okay, any questions? We're all right? Make sure you guys' heads are in the game here. I'm a little bit worried that I'm not getting a lot of questions. All right, let's talk about number 4, because your calculator is a big help in answering number 4, and I want to make sure you all know how to use the fraction button, the ABC button. How many people here use the fraction or ABC button, know how to use it? How many people are comfortable using the fraction button? Yeah? Okay. In case you don't know it, what you're going to do is you're going to enter 2/3 with the fraction button. So you do 2, and for the line you do ABC. 3. That means 2/3. Then you do times 30 minus 1, and it will produce the answer 19 if you do that. Okay? So yes, fractions are a lot harder for many of you than regular whole numbers, but when they give you a calculator and you have a fraction button on it, if you just know how to use it, it's no different than a regular whole number. Also, I want to mention, yesterday I found 2 calculators in here at the end of this class, and at the end of the next class I found 3 more calculators that were not put away back there at the end of the period. You need to understand that you need to be a responsible young person. It's not my job to clean up your mess. Does that make sense to you? Now, if you're going to continue to leave your calculators out, now I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or if you're just being forgetful, but I don't really care. You need to learn to put them away. You're being lent them. How many people think the calculators help you? How many people want to not have a calculator on Friday's test? Well, if you want a calculator on the test, you're going to have to treat it with respect and do things respectfully. And that means that when I'm rushing out the door at the end of the day to get to softball practice, that I'm not staring or looking at a whole bunch of calculators on the desk, so I gotta stop what I'm doing to go get them done and put them away so that I can be late for my softball practice. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so I trust that it'll be done and that you will not force me to do what I don't want to do. I want you to continue to use the calculators, but I'm not going to continue to have you be irresponsible and then let you get the calculators. All right, so next up, which is the graph of this function? And the tricky part of this is they're only giving you the points. See, if they tell you to graph a line, then you graph a line, but it says the set of ordered pairs. The set of ordered pairs is just these ordered pairs. Therefore, it should be choice B, just the set of ordered pairs. Okay? You can take a look at these guys and see how you did. I call your attention to letter C in number 7. During another class, they looked at that and they said, what the heck? They thought it was like an impossible question. This is one of those literal equations where you just solve for the variable. And all it means when it says solve for n is get n by itself. So the first thing I have to do is get rid of the minus 3z. I do that with a plus 3z. If there wasn't a z there, wouldn't you just do plus 3? So no difference, plus 3z. The only difference is tx plus 3z is really weird. You can't add them together, so you just leave it tx plus 3z. And then you divide by b. If it said 5n equals, you'd divide by 5. It says bn equals, so you'd simply divide by b. I know it looks awkward, but that is what it is. Okay? Okay, check those last ones there. Yes. When the pass gets back. Who do we have go here? Let me just, Lenny went, right?
Yeah.
And
Alex is all right now.
Alex is out now, and then we got Michael who's gonna go. Anybody else go? No? Okay. All right, any questions on this? All right, let's go to the next page of yesterday's work. This is really, guys, this is our routine over the course of most of the rest of the year, with the exception of about a 1-week period, where we come in, we do our work, and then we check the results of our work, constantly looking to see where we messed up. So if you mess something up, you can write yourself a little bit of a note here. All right, so number 11 says the slope between 2 points is 1/3. So here's the point 2, 4, and it says name the coordinates that it could possibly be. But you have to understand, I could go in either direction. So there's up 1/3. That marks me here. That's the point 5, 5. Or I could have went with a slope this way. In other words, this point, the original point, would not be the actual original point. That could have been the next point. So it could be this one here, which is -1/3. Or I could have went over to here, which would be -4, 2. Any of those points work. Okay, here's one that we haven't done much of in a while, but a while back you guys were pretty good at it. In fact, better than pretty good, right? It's the perimeter question. All 4 sides add up to the perimeter, so maybe it's the W side plus the 2W plus 15, plus another side that says W, plus another side that says 2W 15. They all have to add up to 320. And the hardest part of this question is you get an ugly looking answer, but it is the answer nonetheless. Okay? Any questions? Okay.
It said 96 and 2/3 plus 15, right?
Yeah, and then I would add that up, which is
Yeah, I was
like
gonna ask you, why can't you add that?
111 and 2/3 or whatever. Okay. Okay, there's my graphs. They meet at the point 0, -2. Very convenient, the y-intercept. And then I check those points. See that they both check. When I do a check with lines, simultaneous lines, I have to check both coordinates in both equations. There we go. The next 2 after that. Any questions? Okay. Scan 9. Uh-oh, what is this? I didn't need this. I might have had the page backwards here. Let's see, scan 10. Yeah, that one page might have been in upside down, so I might not have the answers to that page recorded. All right, take a look here. Joe uses his first. All right. Any questions here, guys? Which one? I'm sorry? Oh, you said no? Any problem with the parallel lines cut by a transversal guy? No? Okay. All right, 2 more pages to go. You know, it's so important. It's not enough to just do the work. You've got to make sure you're you're getting the work right. Not just doing the work to get it done. Yeah, as far as credit goes, that's true, but my bigger concern is not whether you get homework credit or not. That's 10% of your grade. My bigger concern is, do you actually know how to do the stuff? Because it's going to be on tests, it's going to be on quizzes, and that's 90% of your grade. Yeah, it's 55% for tests and 35% for quizzes. If you add them up, you get 90%. So 90% of your grade is not, did you do the work, but it's how right are you getting it. Now, you're going to get homework credit if you get some of them wrong, sure. But if you don't learn how to get these right, then when you go take your final and you struggle on your final, it has a really bad effect. Okay. Oh. Are we good? Okay. Oh, and this is the quiz there. So, okay, that was the last of everything. So you now have what I think